If it seemed as if there was no smoking gun in today's testimony from Attorney General Alberto Gonzales, it may well be that the gun or guns in question have been lost, destroyed, or locked away. The battle over White House emails about the U.S. attorney firings, for instance, continues today. Congress laying down a deadline tomorrow for the Republican Party to reveal exactly who in the White House had private RNC email accounts. The RNC refusing to turn over those emails written by public servants about public matters after the White House demanded the chance to look at them first. In other words, the administration perfectly happy to have its emails read by members of a political party, civilians both unelected and unaccountable, but not read by the people's representatives in Congress. Our fourth story on the countdown tonight, some of those emails have allegedly been lost. And as Glenn Greenwald chronicled on Salon.com, this is hardly the first time members of this administration have benefited from lost documents or information. The Scripps News Service found that even though President Bush sold himself as a CEO president, the ratio of allegedly missing records has skyrocketed under his administration. At Gonzales's FBI, for instance, from 2001 to 2006, the proportion of documents requested through the Freedom of Information Act, but not released due to the claim that they could not be found, rose from 56% to 75%, meaning when anyone, reporter, official, you, me, asks for FBI records to which we are entitled by law, the Gonzales reply 3 out of 4 times is, "Can't find it." It is a reply heard with increasing frequency at other agencies as well, and most notably in the midst of scandals, big or little, that call this administration's ethics into question.
Closest to home, Mr. Bush's own military service provides one well-documented example. During his 2004 campaign against a decorated veteran, Mr. Bush said he fulfilled his obligations with the Texas Air National Guard.
I was served in the National Guard. I flew F-102 aircraft.
But the military could never supply the required documentation providing official explanations or approval for gaps in that service, such as reports that should have been filed after he skipped his physical in 1972 and 5 months of drill.
People have been looking for these files for a long period of time, trust me.
But even after 9/11, even recent documents, evidence potentially vital to our national security, can disappear when it might be to the disadvantage of this administration. Lawyers for Jose Padilla, U.S. citizen, enemy combatant, argued his interrogations left him not competent to stand trial, a judge ordering prosecutors to turn over a DVD of his last grilling by the military. But as of this February, the Defense Intelligence Agency could not find it. A military agency charged with finding things, claiming to have lost its own recording of one of the most notorious accused terrorists in American history. Hundreds more videos went missing after the administration rounded up 1,200 detainees post 9/11. When allegations of abuse surfaced, federal prison officials claimed they had recycled more than 300 surveillance tapes. None of the guards was charged. It took the Justice Department Inspector General to reveal that the tapes confirming abuse of inmates really did exist in a storage room kept secret from investigators. None of those detained, by the way, ever was charged with terrorism. After the FBI claimed to have no record of participating in an interrogation of protesters back in 2002, it took 5 years for the Washington, D.C. police logs to emerge, confirming that, in fact, the FBI did just that. Other small cases, like that of Teresa Chambers, are plagued by missing documents. Chambers, the former chief of the U.S. Park Police, sued the government, claiming she had been fired for whistleblowing about lack of resources, seeking her performance review to prove that. The Interior Department first said that performance review was missing, then had found it, then refused to release it. And even on matters that should be nonpartisan, that should inspire openness, cooperation, secrecy is the byword, missing documents the rule.
We will move in whatever resources and assets we have at our disposal after the storm.
The American Society of Civil Engineers, trying to determine what worked and what did not work with the New Orleans levees, was told by the Army Corps of Engineers that it could not find its own technical drawings of failed levees, could not find specs for the ramparts that meant life or death for a major American city.
Why was the President of the United States left so uninformed?
And while Senator Joe Lieberman, running for office, demanded that the White House turn over internal documents about its handling of the whole Katrina situation, including warnings it got, including details on what Mr. Bush and Mr. Cheney did and did not do before, during, and after, Lieberman, once back in the Senate, decided not to use his power of subpoena to get any of those documents. And even turning back to the White House emails, this administration already fell short of the law and knew it fell short of the law more than a year ago. Prosecutors revealing that the offices of the Vice President and President failed to keep all of their emails through the normal archiving process. This in the case of the People versus Louis Libby. Prosecutor Patrick Fitzgerald telling lawyers for the Vice President's Chief of Staff in the legal fight of his life that the emails he needed, emails which might, however, reflect badly on both of his bosses, well, they were missing.
A disturbing trend when it's all laid out, and that list was just the materials the White House says it can't find. A drop in the bucket when you factor other areas the Bush administration refuses to turn over or claim are protected by executive privilege.